Hey there, everybody! Welcome to, yet again, another episode of the Pseudo Ludo video game podcast, where every week we get together and we talk about video games. And that's all. That's about all we do. So I'm joined here, as always, by Nick.
Hello.
Nick, I tried to come up with a nickname, but Nick the Nicknameless.
Nick is my nickname.
Yeah, that's right.
Quite literally.
Whoa, easy. That's crazy.
We're getting meta.
Yeah, that's true. And we are also joined by Brian the Master. Brian, how you doing?
Of what?
Just the Master.
All right, I'll take its high praise.
Yeah. How you doing? How you doing, kiddo? You feeling good?
Yeah, it's a Tuesday, I think.
Tuesday.
So,
yeah, it is Tuesday.
That's all I got to say about that.
All right, thanks for
my
that.
inability to know what day it is should tell you volumes about how I am.
You're clearly not the master of small talk, I see.
Yes, absolutely not.
Someone asks
I
you
never
what's up in
claimed
the
to be.
elevator, you just give them what you think the day of the week is. Like,
No, I just put a headphone in.
oh, what's up, man? Yeah, so anyways, this is a video game podcast, and we have a good amount of things to talk about. We've got Gamescom opening night live just happened, and we're going to break down, recap everything that got announced and revealed there. And let's just first start off with what have you guys been up to? Any new developments in your life?
Wouldn't you like to know? The final week of our Platinum contest, Murph.
That's right.
That information is on a need-to-know basis.
That is true. Brian and we've been in a year-long contest to see who can get the most platinum trophies on the PlayStation. So, right now, I think we're pretty close. Like, I don't know the exact score right now, but we're close to tied, and 1 week until the fateful day. So it's going to be pretty stressful, maybe, but maybe not.
We're technically tied, or I guess I am technically winning, but we're tied because you have Uncharted ready to send at any moment.
Yeah, I'm one trophy away from that platinum, so it'd be amazing if I forgot to do that, though.
Never know.
You never know.
You shouldn't have said anything, Brian.
You forget.
Any given Sunday. All right. Well, yeah, that's about it for me too. Is got that going on. In my life, I recently acquired quite a few parts to build a PC, so I'll probably be putting that together pretty soon. This will be my first gaming PC tier.
You gonna run it down? Give us a little bit of a list of the parts.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to give you the parts. I don't know the parts. I know they're relatively low specs. I don't know the names off the top of my head. I got the Ryzen 3, which is like a 4-core CPU. It's not the best, but it's it's a nice budget tier system that I'm putting together. Higher end of the low budget, I would say. So I'm excited for all that to come together. I'm sure that'll be kind of stressful once I actually get down to doing it, but haven't done that yet because still waiting on some more parts. Probably will have an update on that next week. But I'm excited because I do love PC games. I love real-time strategy, base building, sim games, all those types of things. But obviously console and MacBook laptops aren't the best for that. So I'm excited to be able to dive into all those games that I've been missing. But otherwise, not too much has been happening. My last weekend, I didn't really play much. I was kind of occupied with research for the PC that I'm building. I've tried out a few games. What have you guys been playing?
The last thing I played was Madden 20 still. Haven't really played much in the past week. For the last 5 months, I've only been working 4 days a week or less because of COVID, and last week was the first week back to a full 5 days. Mm-hmm. So I've been dealing with the mental anguish of that.
Wow, that's rough. That is rough.
Yeah,
Nick, did you ever get Worms WMD?
No, I forgot to buy that yesterday.
Yeah, I want to try that out. I want to play with you. Maybe tonight we can do that.
Yeah, I'll buy it after this. Also, make sure I'm gonna re-download PUBG, so when that's free game of the month next month or this month, we can get on that.
Yeah, good call. I would definitely do PUBG.
Brian, I know you're out on
Brian would
Battle
do
Royales.
PUBG.
I like PUBG. I don't know. I'll probably play it a few times. I'm not gonna
Does that have a platinum trophy?
Probably. It's probably impossible.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We are getting the PSN profiles for PUBG right now.
I would imagine it's extremely hard.
It looks like, yeah, it's impossible. 0.1% rarity. You love to see that level trophy for the platinum. So let's figure out what the actual rare trophy is here, because there's obviously
like winning 5 games in a row like Fall Guys.
Okay, there's one for killing 1,000 players, which is like, that's not the Fall Guy type difficulty. That's just, you just have to play a lot. All right, Brian, you been playing anything I should know about?
I told you it's a need to know, and by that I mean I'm talking empty threats, and no, I haven't.
Gotcha.
And I will probably lose this
up
contest.
Sly Cooper 3, right? That's what you've been trying to finish up before the contest ends?
I haven't actually played that in weeks.
Oh, really? What have you been playing? Anything?
Nothing really. Just been watching Community.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Community. Community, if you guys have not watched Community, it is a great show. All 3 of us are watching it right now.
Yeah, I'm close to the end of it, so.
Same. That's part of the reason why I haven't gotten many new platinums or anything like that. But yeah.
Also because it's down to the point where you have to play shorter games, and they're not always the games you're interested in, but you gotta play them to get the win.
The games I've been pushing off for a year are now like, those are what I should be playing, and I just don't want to, so I just don't play any games instead, which is not gonna end up helping. But it seems like we're both doing that, so.
Yeah, at this point, I'm comfortable losing.
I assume Sunday night might be a different story or something like that.
Probably for you.
See how much I can run the score up.
Yeah, I would imagine it's gonna get ugly, but probably on your end.
That is very fair. Yeah. So I haven't played too much. I've mostly just been like researching PC stuff, like watching YouTube videos on building it and stuff like that. I don't know too much about technology in that level of detail, so it's been cool to kind of like immerse myself in like a whole different like community in terms of
Community.
Tech that goes on. I've just, I've been chipping away at the usual stuff, Persona 4 Golden, that kind of thing, but nothing like, no huge updates right now. I think we're in that time where once this platinum contest ends, I'll be happy again to play games, because I'll be able to play stuff that isn't trophy based that I want to play. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of games.
I turned on my PlayStation yesterday and just like organized my platinum folder a little bit and then turned it off.
Yeah, oh my god, dude, I've done that so many like download stuff and then see it.
Yeah,
later
I added some more games to the queue.
Yeah, crazy.
Then when I actually sat down, I was like,
Exactly. Yeah, I've sat down and then I've deleted stuff that I downloaded because I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I've done that too.
So I'm like, there's like a lot of Nintendo stuff that I want to play, and like older like games that don't have trophies that I want to play. So, oh, you know what I have been playing is Dark Souls 1. I started a new character in that since we last spoke, because one of our mutual friends is also playing through that for the first time. So that kind of inspired me to get back on. I made a sorcerer build, which is cool because I've never done that too much in these games. I usually do melee weapons. But yeah, otherwise that's about it. Nick, you ever going to play Dark Souls 1? Brian, I know you're like flirting with playing it right now. You made a new character.
Yeah, I haven't played it since the last time we played it, but once the dust is settled on this contest, I have a...
Well, you could get the platinum. You probably can't get it now, but you probably could have.
Absolutely not. I couldn't get it in a week.
Dude, if you started when you first started playing it, I think you could have gotten it by that point, probably.
Yeah, probably. But
Tim, do you remember Outward?
Yeah, barely. That game is just
a good time for a couple nights.
It was a good time for a couple nights. I fully recommend it for if it's like a sub $15 game purchase for you, because it's very fun for co-op for like a couple sessions, but it does seem to kind of lose its charm over time once the whole gimmick of like losing all your stuff and like having to go back and get it wears off. But like, I don't know, when we got imprisoned in like that prison like labor camp and stuff and had to break out, that was really fun.
Yeah, before we knew anything.
Yeah, that was a good time. I still only did one quest in that game, which is crazy. Like the first main quest.
The depth of the quest wasn't good either. Like,
yeah,
to
like
join the faction, it was like, oh, go talk to this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, the dungeon crawling stuff is way more fun, and like the world exploration, but not so much the dialogue or the story. But yeah. So Nick, you've just been sticking to Madden so far. Just get in the mood for football.
Yeah. Big fantasy draft season these last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you're in a bunch of leagues. Speaking of fantasy, how about our fantasy game league where we pick game releases? I've had a few wins on that.
We didn't do one of those.
Fantasy Critic Game League. Check it out. Pseudo Ludo. You can go to fantasycritic.games and search for Pseudo Ludo if you want to check our scores live. Right now, I believe I'm in the lead.
Oh, wow. Humble brag.
Brian is not far behind me, and he still has a lot of games that haven't come out, so he could definitely get there. Nick kind of screwed himself over.
I took a huge L, and then I got a couple of delays.
So...
Nah, Murph, I don't think I can win anymore.
I'm looking at your games right now, and
I didn't know what Crusader Kings 3 was when I was before the reviews came out. I was looking at your thing, and I was like, oh, I have a good chance. But now after that, not looking good.
Netted a nice 91 on Open Critic. So
I think the only one that I could get that has a 90 is Cyberpunk.
So you've got Call of Duty, which could definitely get up to a 9, potentially.
No, absolutely not.
High 80s, I would say. No. Maybe not this one.
It'll get low to mid 80s.
That's still a lot of points. And then you've got Ratchet and Clank. If that comes out this year...
might come out.
It might come out, and that Gran Turismo could come out.
If Gran Turismo comes out, that'll be a big win.
Yeah, that'd get good reviews. Also, you have Assassin's Creed, don't you?
No. You counterpicked it, though, so you
could lose points on that. So I could definitely lose a lot of points on Assassin's Creed.
Do I have that?
Yeah, Nick, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then Nick has Crash 4, which definitely could get some good reviews.
Bro, minus 23 points for Microsoft Flight Simulator, Nick.
Huge
Explain
L.
yourself.
Huge L. He does not believe in the power of flight.
You gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Yes.
You guys want to tell me how I have 23 points for Microsoft Flight Simulator, which has a 91 on OpenCritic, and I have 22 points for Crusader Kings, which also has a 91?
There's probably more reviews on one of them.
Yeah, that's probably...
Isn't it only after like the first week or whatever? I don't know how this thing works.
I don't know either.
Clearly, I'm losing terribly.
Yeah, but it's fun, and I think this was just a weird year to start doing it because of all the delays, and because it's a console year, so not much was known about the games coming out. I think
how do we still not know
years,
the price of anything?
What do you mean the price? It's a bidding. You can buy everything for $1.
PS5, PS5, the Xbox, how much are these things going to cost? They come out in 2 months.
That's got to be soon.
I was talking to Brian.
Those emails.
Yeah, I was talking to Brian this morning, and the Switch came out 50 days before launch was when they announced the price and pre-orders. So, and so that's the most recent. If you want to talk about actual consoles to come out, that's the most recent launch in 2017. So, I mean, it might just be the case that, especially with COVID, this is what they're doing from now on, is waiting closer. The same way iPhones, come out a couple weeks after they're announced with price, and they sell fine. Obviously, they sell like crazy.
Some people need to budget, man.
It's going to be a lot of money. Just budget a lot of money.
Yeah, but what about when I want to buy a PC? I got a budget for that too.
Okay,
no, you don't gotta do that,
dude. Save up. It's probably gonna be $600 or $700, and if it's cheaper than that, then whoopee, you got more money saved.
It's not gonna be $700.
PS5?
No shots.
Could be. Anyways, why don't we get back to the news? First up, guys, Madden is not good. The newest Madden NFL 21 released, and it has the lowest Metacritic user review score of all time. So this has been getting review bombed, although I don't know if you can call it that, since it probably actually deserves it. So it's not like one of the Last of Us 2 situations where people were giving it zeros before they even played it. This is everybody knows what Madden is. It's
no, they're mad at what they did to Joe Flacco in the story mode.
Easy.
That much I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, Nick, you're kind of the Madden guy here. What do you think about? I mean, it's been a long time coming, I think, for these basically just slap a new number on every year type of games. What do you think about that?
the last couple of weeks playing Madden 20, getting excited, ramping up for football season. I convinced myself I was going to buy this, but then in the days leading up to its release and now afterwards, there was hashtag Fix Madden Franchise, which is the mode that I play most, because that's one mode that they haven't updated since like 2009. And now, I forget what the exact hashtag was, but it was basically asking the NFL to get rid of EA as the publisher and the developer for these games or whatever.
Which I'm all for, because
they need competition. You can't just have this stagnant.
It's a monopoly. I mean, it's gonna print money based on the fact that people love football, people love FIFA, soccer. People love the NBA. It's gonna. It
really sucks that EA has FIFA, Madden, and NHL under their control.
It just prints money, and without competition, you can't blame them, because if they're selling millions of games every year, why would you invest more money in it, from a business standpoint? So it's really, the onus, I think, is on the leagues who have these partnerships. But again, everybody except the consumer is just benefiting. So until people stop buying it, it's not going to change. It's just not going to change.
No one ever is. It's 60 right now, so I'm not going to get it unless during the season the Bills start 5-0, and I'm like, yeah, I need to play.
Yeah, it's just so. This has been talked to death, but obviously, it would just be better if they did it as the way Destiny does it, where it's a service, a game, and every year you just buy a roster update, right? And then it allows them to not have to try and do these 9-month development cycles, which obviously are not conducive to making anything good. They could just start actually cumulatively working on one Madden game that would actually see progress over the years, because it would have over the, say PS5 comes out, they just release Madden, right? Or Madden X, whatever you want to call it. And then they develop it for 5 years, and, it'd still be making a bunch of money and people would be playing it all the time. But who knows? I don't.
But the same people that would pay the $10 to $15 for a roster update are the same people that are going to spend $60 every year to get the same thing.
Yeah, that's true. And they're making bank off microtransactions, so it's that's worked its way into it, where it's you're paying full price for this game every year, but you're also it's literally one of the worst deals in video games, I think, in terms of what you get for what you pay. You are essentially buying a $60 roster update plus a few new features, that are pigeonholed in there, and everything is loaded up with ads and all that. But that's just, it's a different market. It's a casual market. There's people who only buy consoles just to play sports games, and so as a more core video game player, console player, it's frustrating to see it, because I also like football and I would like a more higher quality franchise, but what are you going to do? I guess that's just how things have always been.
Wasn't there, I'm pretty sure we talked about it pretty close to when we started this podcast, wasn't 2K, didn't they say they were going to make a football game that was going to be more not simulation based, more arcade like?
They did talk about that, something like NFL Blitz style.
Yeah, something.
But
I'd be excited for that.
Yeah, anything like that I would be very excited for. It might be a while before they're ready to actually announce the title and show it off and whatever, but I would definitely be interested in playing that, because I think sports sims are fun, right? They're cool. They're I enjoy playing Madden every now and then, but it would also be fun to play a more gamey version of it, almost like Rocket League style, where it's way more made for.
They used to have all those different qualifiers you could add to the games you played, the rewinds or super speed. I'm pretty sure there used to be power-ups at one point. What happened to those? Add those back and you could turn them on and people would be able to have their arcade fun.
They print so much money off microtransactions, they don't need to do much work. So EA is just not going to fund new development costs when there's literally no reason to. That's all there is to it. All right, how about we go up next on the news, and also kind of just what we'll mainly be focusing on for today is Gamescom opening night live happened, and we're going to kind of just break down what we saw and what stuck out to us, because there's a lot of kind of, I don't want to say filler, but just stuff that doesn't really generally appeal to us. So I guess we'll kind of focus on what we enjoyed what announcements, what trailers we liked. So I'll just go right down the list. Starting up with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. We saw a trailer for that. What do you guys? Let's do overall impressions first. What'd you think overall? Were you overwhelmed, underwhelmed?
Overwhelmed. Who was overwhelmed by this?
Jeff Keighley fans were.
No, I mean, wait. You're talking about the entire thing. I think specifically Black Ops.
No,
just overwhelmed,
yeah.
weeping.
I meant to start off with like what our overall takes were, just in general. I always like Jeff Keighley things, and I'm glad he's
had a good guy
he's had a very good summer. I guess he's like kind of tried his best to like unify all these announcements under one name, which I kind of appreciate.
Oh yeah, I would say whelmed.
Loved his work in Death Stranding as well. Yeah, it definitely whelming. Like, was not like anything. There were no huge, like, it wasn't like Elden Ring got announced, got gameplay
announced. Wow, they unannounced it.
Dude, they might have. I don't know. Yeah, like that would have been like a big moment for me. Is like that's something that's always in the back of my mind. Anytime any kind of conference is coming up, is like I want to see Elden Ring gameplay and get a release date, please. But so nothing to that level for me. But there was like just some good stuff to see here. So let's just start off with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. We got a trailer, cinematic type thing. What did you think of this, guys?
I was overwhelmed by this trailer.
Were you? Really?
No, I mean, I think it looks fine. Another COD. I'm glad they're kind of sticking with this more grounded approach in modern day. Or, I mean, in this case, the Cold War, but you know what I mean? Not the space stuff.
I agree.
But I keep saying this, but I am definitely skeptical of this game as a product in general, just because of all the development trouble I went through. But fingers crossed, I guess. I like the first Black Ops is one of my favorite Call of Duties, so
yeah, I agree.
I'll keep an eye out on it.
Most definitely. I think the 1980s is like a cool period. It's not really something we've seen yet. Black Ops 2, I think, took place partially in the 80s, but mostly we've seen like World War II, we've seen the 60s, and we've seen present day and future. But the 1980s would definitely be a cool, period piece to explore. What'd you think of like Reagan being in the trailer? Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of surreal to see like a U.S. president. I know JFK was partially in the first Black Ops. What'd you think of that trailer specifically?
It's just kind of same to what you're saying about JFK. Like, it kind of just reminded me of that, but
yeah,
I get the feeling he might be more of an important part of the story, which is kind of bizarre.
It is kind of weird.
JFK is basically just a glorified cameo, and they also imply that you kill JFK in that game.
That's one of my favorite. If you want to talk about reveals that like are kind of hammy but like awesome still, is that like I love the original Black Ops. But yeah, I don't know what Reagan's place here is exactly. But I don't know. It might be cool to see. Like, I like historical fiction, alternate history type stuff. I'm a huge fan of that. So like that's why I loved Black Ops 1 with like the JFK stuff. The Bay of Pigs stuff. Like all that. All that is very cool. And the Cold War, I think, is just a great first-person shooter, like time period to explore because of all the covert operations. Where I think it can lead to more creative level design and stuff like that. Where you got to watch out for like. Causing international incidents, almost like James Bondsy type things, instead of just like World War II, where it's just an all-out, gloves off war, and you're just mowing people down. This is a little bit more like, here's a mission, we have to go in, we have to do this, but like Russia can't find out we're doing this, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the more espionage the campaigns are, like the more of that's going on is a lot more entertaining. It allows for much better set pieces than when they try to kind of like one-to-one create actual historical battles and stuff, because then trying to create a narrative around that usually ends up making it seem really over the top, and especially in conjunction with realistic battles. Like Call of Duty World War II had like attempts to be kind of realistic, but by the end of it was very, very over the top, and I feel like that combination is very jarring, where when you're doing something that's more spy oriented or secret
stuff that could have happened, but it allows
for more leeway in the storytelling and the creation of set pieces.
Tim, did you ever beat the Modern Warfare 2 campaign for the remaster?
Yeah, I did.
So we can make Shepard jokes now?
You can make Shepard jokes, sure.
You didn't platinum it, though, right?
He's cleaning house.
Stay tuned.
He has no pizza experience. He's never been in the pizza category.
Right.
No, I didn't platinum. I still have to do the whole Immortal run, so like I don't know if I can do that in time. I got to do the Immortal run, and I have to do all the collectibles. But yeah, what you were saying, Brian, like I think some of my favorite missions have been the covert stuff. Like I think it's called One in the Chamber. The sniper mission in Modern Warfare 1 is amazing. The one where you're in the snow with the snowmobiles one is really great in Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah. Modern Warfare 2 is awesome with that stuff.
Yeah, and just a lot of missions in Black Ops, the original Black Ops, were really good for that kind of thing. Like when you go to kill Castro and it's like a body double or something.
Yeah,
a lot of good stuff going on. So yeah, I mean, they're like on one side I'm excited for this time period, but also like I'm just a little bit jaded when it comes to Call of Duty these days. Like it's definitely past its prime of like being at the forefront of like this is like the most exciting thing in games, you know, like back in the Modern Warfare Black Ops 1 days where it was like a huge deal when the new Call of Duty came out. Now it's like it's a big deal, but it's more for the multiplayer side, and you know the stories aren't as breathtaking as they used to be, and that kind of thing. Especially knowing the behind the scenes trouble with this game. I'm overall not too excited, but I wish I could be more excited, I guess.
I agree.
All right, up next.
Great high level summary.
Very good, very good. Yeah, that was in depth. We might just end the podcast here. All right, do you want to talk about Unknown 9 Awakening announced with a cinematic trailer? By Reflector Entertainment. I actually don't have anything to say about this. I don't know about you guys. I don't know like Reflector Entertainment. Trailer. Yeah, just a cinematic trailer. We see a young girl by the name of Haruna as she discovers some new abilities. Not much to say here. Nick, you got anything to say on this one?
No, not really. Just seems like a classic ghosty type game.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know if you meant like Ghost of Tsushima or like
no, not like Ghost of Tsushima. Just like I don't know.
Classic ghosty. They should put that on the box.
Ghosty.
That's like you know when they like say the reviewer like with like the quotes at the start of a trailer. Classic ghosty game. Nick from Pseudo Ludo.
Just Nick.
Yeah, your nickname. So we got some Doom Eternal Ancient Ones DLC revealed. What you guys, both of you played Doom Eternal. Are you interested in the DLC or not?
Big out.
It sounded like you sounded like distorted.
Yeah.
You sounded like the Doom Slayer.
So this is coming out October 20th, 2020. But yeah, so Brian, are you also big out on this or what?
No, I like the game a lot more than Nick did. I think it's a great game. I just personally, it takes a lot for me to get invested in a DLC. Usually when I'm done, I'm done. Mm-hmm. So very unlikely that I will get this, but yeah. I'm glad to see they're supporting single player content. But you know,
yeah. And if it got really good reviews, would you consider going back to it, or are you kind of?
I mean, I'd consider it, but it would have to get like insanely good reviews for
like
me.
Like left behind levels, like yeah.
Just because it's right around. Like that's within a few weeks of next gen, and I'll probably get Crash Bandicoot 4 also. So
packed timeline. So up next we got the Dragon Age 4. I wouldn't really call it a trailer, but it was like a look, you know, within BioWare. They went into concept art and like location footage, stuff like that. So this just kind of indicates that they're still very far away and they're not ready to show anything. I liked Dragon Age Origins back in the day. I liked it a lot actually, but I haven't played anything beyond that. What about you guys?
I played Origins and Inquisition a fair amount. They're cool. They're not particularly my favorite franchise, but I see the appeal. However, BioWare is definitely a different beast than it was back then.
This is very
with,
important.
Like the new Mass Effect and with Anthem, I'm not particularly sure how this is going to shape up.
This is kind of do or die for them now, I think, where they've had two clunkers on their hands, and this is like another, like Mass Effect, this is another beloved franchise to many people. And if they kind of, if this one falls flat, I think... Jesus, did you just go into hyperspace?
What in the world is going on?
It's Mad Max, bro.
Jeez, I think I'm gonna keep that one in. That was like...
It's not a joke. I don't know why. Just this past summer, this entire area is just dirt bikes.
Dude, it sounds like a TIE fighter just whizzed by your house.
You know that video, the beagle, yelling?
Yeah.
And they put it over, the TIE fighters?
Yeah. Oh,
that's what great. That reminded me of a little bit.
Geraldine, hey.
But yeah, I think
they're coming back, I think. Oh, no.
They're doing another pass. I think you're right, Brian, though. BioWare is, much different than they used to be. And yeah, it's been a while since they've had anything of note, so this is going to be interesting to see if they can live up to the legacy of clearly not the same studio. Pretty much in name they're the same, but I don't know if...
Yeah, I saw a quote the other day from an old Mass Effect writer saying that they just became so much more corporate, and it wasn't about what we wanted to write, it was about what focus groups were saying.
Yeah, I saw that. And that would have actually been a good story to pull in. I forgot about that. That's but yeah, that is... It's definitely concerning, especially, EA doesn't have the best reputation. That's obvious to most people. Yeah, it's kind of a shame because, they were pioneers of the PS3 generation with Dragon Age and with Mass Effect. So it's kind of a shame to see, what they've become. But Surgeon Simulator 2 is out now. So this is weird.
Thank God.
This was announced by Doc Brown, from Back to the Future, which is just,
Did you guys hear that one?
No, I didn't hear it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Surgeon Simulator 2 was announced by Doc Brown from Back to the Future, which is kind of bizarre. But, that's just a really...
He's just a big fan. He's a friend of the show.
Doc Brown is a friend. That is, he is a friend of the show. I get he's a mad scientist or whatever, but I don't really know. I don't know. That's a really weird connection to make.
It's been a long time since this first one came out, right?
Yeah,
5-6 years.
It's been quite a while, and the first one was really great. I think it was similar to kind of Fall Guys or Goat Simulator or Untitled Goose Game, where it's a really funny YouTube streaming game where it's fun to play with your friends and laugh around, but it's not so much an actual crazy good game that you need to play. So as far as the sequel goes, I don't know if anybody is super hyped for it. I'm sure it has its fans, but unless it does something super different from the original, I don't feel the need to go and play this right now. What about you guys? I did love the original. Some of the hardest I've laughed playing games. So maybe at some point, if Nick's here for a weekend or something, we'd pick it up and mess around in it. But
I'd only ever buy it if I was in person with one of you two.
Yeah, it's a fun couch game, but it's not yeah. I have no idea why. What's his name? Christopher Lloyd? Is that the actor?
His name's Doc Brown.
Oh yeah, I have no idea why Doc Brown was in it. You would think he'd be there to announce a Back to the Future type game or something, so maybe that got canceled, and then he's all right, well, we paid Doc Brown to come here, so talk about Surgeon Simulator. I have no idea. It's kind of bizarre, but up next, we got Bridge Constructor, The Walking Dead. Bridge Constructor is a physics-based puzzly game, and before they've had a tie-in with Portal. So I guess this is just a different tie-in. This is a Walking Dead tie-in. I'm not super interested in this. What about you guys?
It's going to be a no for me.
I'm not into this. Well, I do like this kind of style of game.
I do. I like physics-based gameplay.
But I'm not in on a Walking Dead crossover. I don't care.
Yeah, Walking Dead is really, that's super 2010. I don't think anybody... I don't know how... That show is still going on, am I right?
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane. it really needed to know when to because I'm sure they had to have lost like 90% of their viewer base at this point, right?
It used to be like the highest, season 1, that was highest rated show on TV for
that
adults.
Show was insane. That it was like the most watched. It was like Game of Thrones back in the day. Like everybody talked about it. Now it's like so irrelevant. It's crazy. Sam & Max reboot coming to VR. That's the most I'll ever care about it, was saying that sentence. Sorry. So
I'd rather see a Ruby and Max game.
Yeah, that'd be sick,
Max
actually.
And Ruby.
Nice little children's cartoon from the early 2000s. Maybe earlier. I don't know when it originated.
Max and Ruby. Ruby and Max.
So we had a look at World of Warcraft Shadowlands, which is promising a new realms coming to the one of the most popular MMOs of all time. I used to like World of Warcraft like pretty casually. I was never too into it, and I doubt I'll be going back to it anytime soon. But
nah, you got a PC now. You're in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna download it on the PC. Let's be real here, for sure, actually. But I don't think I'll be getting expansions. I'll probably just jump in and like look at my character and stuff like that. But yeah, this is like, it's just nice to see this. Like, it's such a nostalgic game, and it's nice to see it still getting content and still having a pretty big player base. It's just pretty cool that there's like these cultural, persistent games that are like positive for me. That I have like a positive association for. Where nowadays when I think about a persistent game, it's usually a negative connotation. Like Avengers, This was from a simpler time, and I'll always love it.
Before we knew better.
Yeah. Wait, before you move on to the next thing,
yes,
can I just call attention to the fact I don't think you specifically said this, and it just made me laugh really hard. Guess what the user score for Madden is on Metacritic.
Oh yeah.
It's super low.
I think it's like 0.3 or something.
Yeah, point
the lowest of all time.
That's so low.
That's pretty much not a single good review, because you'd imagine all the positive reviews are from like EA shills that are like bots that are supposed to give a good review. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that's going on. So for it to be that low, like even The Last of Us was never. I think it's the lowest that got was like in the 2s or the 1, like maybe 1 or 3.
No, I don't even think it got that low. I think it was like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I mean that's like,
it was probably 2. I don't think it was ever 1.
I think it was 2 at the lowest, but obviously it bounced back after people actually played it. Up next, Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormground, that is a mouthful, was revealed. This is a upcoming strategy game set in the world of Warhammer, which is a partially fantasy and like also other genres. It's a very big property, and there are tons of Warhammer games coming out all the time. And I don't have much to say about this particular one. It's a strategy game coming out in 2021 for PC and the consoles, even the Switch. But what I like is that Warhammer doesn't go exclusive the way like EA goes with Madden, right? It divvies out its properties to different studios. Different studios make different games. I like that. I like when properties do that as opposed to these like exclusive licenses. And it seems like Marvel is also doing that with their characters too, which is good to see. So just a thought there, but not too much to say about this game in particular. The next thing we saw was Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. I sounded like almost angry about that. Flashback tapes, which is just like we saw another feature for this game. We're starting to see a lot of it, which makes sense because we're getting close to release date, but there was nothing revelatory about this announcement. And, like I'm excited for Crash 4, but I'm not like, I mean, like Nick, are you like, does this make you any more excited than you already were? I don't think it's very additive to the overall. Like,
no,
hype.
Actually, the thing that made me more excited was that I watched like a quick playthrough of Crash 1 through 3 on YouTube. That made me more excited for Crash 4 than this did.
Yeah. So I'm sure this was just kind of like a marketing tie-in to kind of just show something, just to, keep the name fresh in people's minds. But yeah, then we got some more trailers for like a couple other games. Outriders, nothing really to say about that. Necromunda Underhive Wars.
What?
See, I don't know. This game's coming out soon. It comes out at the end of the week, I think. End of next week. I actually don't even know what the game is. Do you? Necromunda Under High Wars. What is it? A tactical gunfight. Yeah, this doesn't look very good. It's by Focus Home Interactive Publishing, and Rogue Factory is the developer. Yeah. I think it's already a PC game, and it's just getting... Oh, no, it's not. It's launching on all of them simultaneously, September 8th. So we saw Teardown, which I actually think this is a cool-looking game. Did you guys see this one? Teardown, it's almost like Minecraft, Nick. It's got like destructible environments, but it's also it's a very cool concept. I think you in particular, like, we would both like this type of game. Brian, you might like it because it's like heist based.
Sly?
No. So Teardown basically is like, it's like blocky like Minecraft, but a little, if Minecraft had basically more blocks per object, you know what I'm saying? Like,
this looks cool.
It looks really cool, and it's like you go through almost like creative mode, almost like where it's an interesting take on like the Minecraft type game where you're doing it for a purpose. You're setting up your heist, you're planning your routes, and like everything is destructible. Everything is like, you can create your own way out. You can, you shoot through walls. You can place something to jump on to get across a rooftop, something like that. It seems very like every time you play a heist or whatever, it would be a different experience, which is cool. I think it's actually like a really good idea to have like this sandboxy game, but with a specific purpose in mind. So I'm actually pretty hyped for this one. I would definitely look into this when this comes out. I don't know if we got a release date. Did we? I don't think we got a release date. Yeah, no release date, but it definitely looks really cool. And that was probably one of the coolest things I saw of this announcement. We saw Little Nightmares 2, a gameplay trailer for that. Not much to say about that. And we saw WWE 2K Battlegrounds, which is like kind of almost like a bobbleheady type, more cartoony WWE game. Nick, you looked at this earlier. Are you at all interested in this anymore?
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay.
I wasn't interested in it to begin with, and still not.
I feel like it might be cooler because this is what we were talking about with more arcade-based games. Like, I would be more interested in this than just your yearly WWE game. So, like, I'm not particularly saying I'm going to buy this, but I'm like, I like the idea more of like a more fun, like, gameplay focus experience as opposed to like a sim experience for this.
Teardown does look awesome.
Yeah. I feel like you're going to be a big in on that. What did you guys think of the Star Wars Squadrons campaign stuff that we saw?
I'm still just not like a flight Star Wars flight game only guy.
Oh yeah, I'm super excited for this game.
I'm hesitant. I mean, I like Fallen Order, but besides that, I feel like EA is kind of not doing the best job with Star Wars license so far. So I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah, you have every right to be jaded at this point. Totally agree.
I would imagine the focus is the multiplayer because the Battlefront 2 campaign is absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I think the focus will be the multiplayer. I don't care too much about the campaign, but I do just want the, fighter game. Like, I love dogfights in any game that they're in, including in the original Battlefronts. That was some of my favorite. Was like the ship combat. So I'm still very much looking forward to this. We'll see what the reviews are like when it comes out, but 12 minutes voice cast has been revealed, and we've got James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and William Dafoe, which is pretty star-studded. You got anything to say about this?
I mean, yeah, this is kind of my bag here. I love narrative games, and Annapurna games are usually really good. They did Edith Finch.
Yeah.
They focus on those smaller, more story-oriented games, and with a cast like this, is definitely going to be on my radar.
Very cool. Yeah, I would definitely be interested in this, especially with the cast, like you said. Up next, we got Warframe. We got an expansion for Warframe. Warframe's big, but I've never tried it, and I don't think either of you guys have, so we don't have too much to say about that. We got an announcement for a robot like mech fighting game, Override 2. I like mech stuff. I like that style of thing, but I'm not particularly interested in this one. It is coming to both current consoles and next gen, as well as PC, later this year, around the holidays. And we got a Sims announcement. Sims 4 has a Star Wars based DLC coming out, which I mean personally I couldn't care less about, but I'm sure for people who love The Sims and also love Star Wars, that's going to be pretty cool to be able to recreate some Star Wars stuff in your Sims games. I know that still has a pretty huge player base and following. We saw a trailer for Mafia Definitive Edition, and this game has been going through some trouble. At least the 2 and 3 were going through trouble. I don't really have much to say about this. I'm probably not going to get it, just given I don't have much faith in it right now. We could hope it turns around, but probably not. And then we got a first-person shooter and strategy game called Lemnis Gate, which is kind of a weird name. Either of you have any thoughts on that?
No.
Just no. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga got delayed, guys. Nick, I'm sorry. I know you had this in your fantasy league, or maybe one of you did.
Another L.
Yeah, big L for you. This actually, as far as Lego games go, this is the first one in a long time that has stood out to me. So it's actually kind of cool that they're delaying it, which indicates they care something about the quality. And it's delayed into 2021, probably Q1 or Q2 2021. But I would definitely check this out. Like when it comes out, it looks like it's like finally evolving this, at this point, probably 15-year-old formula of Lego games. So, it'll be kind of cool to see like an updated version of these Lego games, because I did used to love those games.
Yeah, the old ones are awesome.
Yeah, and they kind of just never change too much. So, this will be cool. Let's see. Up next, we saw a trailer for Struggling Launch. Wait, no. We saw a launch trailer for the game Struggling by Chasing Rat Games, which is a physics-based co-op platformer where players need to work together to control the arms of a strange, meaty creature. It seems like Lovecraftian and like monster body horror type of thing, and I don't know. It might be a cool like co-op game to play at some point. Like that sounds co-op and physics together just go so well. I think like Gang Beasts and stuff like that. So I would be interested in that when it comes out, potentially playing.
Yeah, it looks
together.
Cool. Yeah, anything that we all could just join in.
I like the art style too.
Yeah, anything with a nice art style like that is gonna catch my eye a little bit. It just sounds unique. It's not what you'd normally see. We got gameplay for a game called Chorus, which is another dogfighting game, and I haven't seen too much of this game, but I don't know. It sounds like I said, I like dogfighting games, so I would probably check it out if it gets good reviews when it launches. But otherwise, like without an IP tied to it like Star Wars, I'm not gonna really notice it right away, unless it's pretty extraordinary. One of the more exciting things I think that got announced was a Fall Guys Season 2, and we got a trailer showing off like new costumes, new levels. It seems everything is going for a medieval theme this time around, which I like that opens up the idea that everything's themed every season. So it's like, there's just kind of like something to go for every time. I feel like that would lead to better design, because when you give your team of level designers like a prompt, right? And you say, okay, let's think of like medieval ideas. It's just easier to think of, now suddenly all these thoughts are springing to mind, as opposed to just having an empty page and says, okay, level ideas, like, go. This kind of like immediately gives you like, okay, we got drawbridges, we have catapults, we have that kind of thing. I think this could be a lot of fun. And, Fall Guys is obviously a massive success right now. And I think a lot's going to ride on how they can keep people going and keep people excited when it's not really as competitive as Fortnite or PUBG or these other like live service games. What'd you guys think of this?
Yeah, I'm all in that they're already announcing stuff for future plans. Hopefully keep the game fresh, because it is a lot of fun and a relaxing kind of competitive co-op thing that we can play, instead of having to get tilted every time we play Overwatch or Warzone or something. This is I fell off the rolly thingy. Darn.
Yeah. Brian, you got anything on this?
No, not really. I mean, it's nice that they're supporting it still. It'll be interesting to see just in a macro level how long this lasts in the consciousness. Like,
right. I think it could be short-lived.
Yeah, I can't really see it going too long, but you never know. Because I do think that competitive nature is what keeps like 90% of multiplayer gamers into the game.
Yeah,
and
if you can't
really like competitive, like it is, but like it's mostly just for fun, and it's like the jokiness of it all.
Right. If you feel like you're not improving, I feel like it does get stale, and it's hard to improve at a game where it is like very. I mean, there are things you can get better at, no doubt, but it is also very like in nature, just not serious. So, it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. But
if it could stay in the favor of the streaming community, it'll definitely stay strong. Obviously, like right now, it's one of the biggest games on all the streaming platforms.
It would be nice if they almost pivoted towards more Mario Party focus, where it's like, okay, here's a single player mode you can play, locally with your family, because I think that would be fun, and it's like introduce more game type things as opposed to just obstacle course, like more things that implement this physics and this goofiness, but also maybe change it up a little bit more, make it more like Mario Party. Maybe have a board, like you go through like Mario Party and you play these mini games to progress. That kind of thing I think would be a lot of fun. That would definitely be something that would get me playing long term, to have it as like more of a party game for casual. You have your friends over, everyone can play, like your girlfriend can play, that kind of thing. So up next, we got Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. They announced the release date. It's coming out October 15th. Did either of you play Age of Empires 3?
No, I have not. Is this something that you've played? I forget if you played this or Age of Mythology.
It's by the same developers, same type of game, and it's awesome. I love all of these games. And yeah, it came out after Age of Mythology. It's a little bit newer. I want to say maybe 2005. It takes place in the colonial age, which is a really cool, it's a very interesting time period for a video game. There's not many games, so you can play as the British Empire, Spain. You can play as Spain. You can play as the American colonies, and basically have Revolutionary War. A little bit earlier, like the Age of Exploration era battles, which it's fun. You got muskets and stuff instead of your usual, what you would think of for an RTS game.
Is this
with base
similar to Civ, or?
No, it's more like Age of Mythology. You don't capture large territories. It's more like StarCraft, where it's like you're on a map and you do build a base, right? You have your base, but you're not building an entire country. You're fighting for one area of land, and you build your buildings and build your walls up and send your armies to the other people's base, collect resources, that type of thing. It's very much like StarCraft. That's the best analogy for it.
Does this have easy? Is this something that I could easily get into?
Oh, I mean, I played this game when I was a kid. Age of Mythology came out in 2002.
Tim, for me, is this something I could easily?
It's got a fun story mode. I would personally recommend Age of Empires 2 or Age of Mythology first, but if you especially like the colonial age, this one is also I think all these games are very, very good, and I just love this type of RTS game with the base building elements and the resource management. Very fun stuff. You've played Age of Mythology, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. You should get that one too. But yeah,
so Stagma.
I'm excited for that. I'm very excited for that, and I'll have a PC at that point, which is fantastic.
Where if you picked a really curious time to build a PC with all the next gen stuff happening.
It's because of class. All my law school classes are online, so.
Oh,
that's what.
So you built a gaming PC.
Well, yeah. So that's been in the back of my head for years, and now that I have an actual practical use for it, I'm like, oh, yeah, no time like the present.
Sounds like a lot of hoopla.
Sounds like a lot of
hoopla. Yeah, it is. I'm very excited. I'll be prostagmaing all over you. That didn't. Anyways.
Good thing you got the edit this week there, champ.
Yeah. Anyways, we got Wastelanders 3 Liberty. character trailer revealed. It's just showing off a new character for Wasteland 3. Not a huge deal.
You guys have any interest in that game?
Not really.
Not really.
I was thinking about getting it.
I mean, if you're gonna get it, I would like check it out.
It's not an online thing, is it?
No, I don't think so.
It's like it's like an RPG, right?
Is it an RPG? Oh, it's like a CRPG, like old Fallout style, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
It's like a true old RPG.
Like Fallout 1, Fallout 2.
They get pretty good reviews, but it might be more of a PC thing.
It probably those games
it's
usually
on PS4,
just
though.
Those games usually just work better on PC. But I mean, I would be interested. I actually haven't looked at this too much. Yeah. I guess it is inspired by Fallout because it's called Wastelanders. So I'm guessing it's just that type of thing. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out at some point. There's a couple other like CRPGs I want to play first. Like I'd like to play the original Fallout 2, and I'd want to play what's the one that came out last year? Disco Elysium. I want to play that first.
Are you a commie?
Yeah, I am a commie. No, I'm not. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. We got a story trailer for the long irrelevant first-person shooter that was basically the inspiration before Call of Duty. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. Did you see this? What'd you think of this?
It's developed by Respawn, so that's interesting. But it's like a VR thing.
Oh, so
yes. I will have no way to play this.
Right, I forgot this was VR. Yeah, it could be
cool. I do love Respawn.
Yeah, it could be cool for VR. It's a relatively big title, and it's attached to a great developer. But yeah, like you said, we don't have VR, so maybe someday. And then we got a release date announcement for a magic-based battle royale called Spellbreak. Personally, I've just been inundated with battle royales, and I can't get too excited about them these days.
Yeah, that sentence hurt my scabula.
Yeah, it has a cool art style, and I do like magic-themed fantasy stuff, so that's cool, but...
What was that other battle royale that came out that was like in a similar art style as Fortnite?
The one at the Ubisoft,
the fantasy
conference?
one.
Yeah,
Realm Royale.
Yeah, that one. You turn into chicken if you die. That was your res.
Yeah, that fell off, huh?
It never got off the ground.
I don't know if that ever. Yeah. So we got a look at the Turrican Anthology development process. As far as I know, I don't know much about. Do you know these games, Brian?
No, but I'm pretty. Factor 5 sounds familiar.
Yeah, they
did like the Rogue Squadron games.
These were pretty old. Like these were Super Nintendo, and like Genesis era games. I think they're just like action games, like retro, like old school games. And I mean these types of things are just becoming popular to like make an anthology collection, which I'm all for. Like let's get these games back out into the public. Let's put achievements on. I love that kind of thing, like the Castlevania
trophies.
Yeah, that kind of, it's nice to breathe life into old games with new ways to play them. So I'm all for that. I'm not personally connected to these games, but I like the general trend. And then we saw, second to last, we saw some Destiny 2 expansion stuff, which, I've played Destiny. Brian and I have both checked it out. It's like not really my thing, but obviously has a huge player base. It's big news always. And I think people are excited for this new expansion. This is supposed to be one of the bigger expansions, I believe. I think it's the first time adding a new class or subclass in a while, and it's one of the first big expansions since Bungie has left Activision. So this is kind of a big deal in many ways, and it's probably going to be releasing alongside new consoles. But personally, I probably won't be checking it out unless it's like I just don't see myself checking this out.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Destiny. It's a well done game. It's just not for me.
Yeah. Good.
I've already
game.
made my stance on persistent games very clear at this point.
Yeah.
And then need to beat a dead horse.
Finally, we saw some gameplay from Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Now we're talking.
Yeah,
this is the big kahuna.
Yep, this is a big one. This is like the most exciting thing we saw. It's confirmed to be a launch window game, which tells me it's probably not going to be day and date. Maybe they're trying to
no way. That'd be so stupid. Yeah. They'll just cut into their own sales.
So I'm guessing holiday 2020 probably. It'll be like a nice Christmas sales game. That kind
of
thing.
Well, no, they said I think it'll be like
launch
February.
Window?
How long does the launch window last though?
Yeah, that's
I think that could
get
all the way out to March. I'm pretty sure Infamous Second Son was
launch window
considered a launch window.
Okay,
game, but I might be wrong.
No, that makes more sense actually that you say that. That makes way more sense. And I guess I just took launch window a little too literally. But I think that would be actually really good as a Q1 2021 game.
Yeah, that's what I would. I mean, it just doesn't really seem like good practice to release both of Insomniac's games in direct competition with each other. But who knows?
Definitely.
Crazier things have certainly happened.
Great, yes. Much so. So yeah, like that was not a sentence. What did you guys think of this? We saw like a pretty big look at the game. I know you guys have like. You're bigger Ratchet and Clank fans than I am, but I'm definitely going to get.
You're not a fan.
Before it comes out,
Nick, get a load of this guy. Get a load of this poser. Do you even know what a Lombax is? Do you? What's a Lombax?
What's a quark?
Yeah, Murph. What do you know about that? What do you know about the life? What do you know about Ratchet Deadlocked? Huh? Or Secret Agent Clank? Nick, this guy, man. Yeah, this looks terrific. Glad to see that somehow, some way, that this franchise has persevered. Probably close to 20 years now, where honorable warriors such as Sly and Jack have fallen. But yeah, this looks great. Looks to be a dual showcase of the talents of Insomniac, but also the technology of the PlayStation 5 SSD with the speed at which everything is going. So there's no way I would never not get a Ratchet and Clank game at this point. They're part of my lineage as a video game player. I've been playing these games since I was like the 10. I don't know, whenever the first one came out. So it's been a long journey. I can't wait to continue it. And also the title is a funny fart pun.
It is. I'm huge in on this. One thing I did see about this on the interwebs was that the graphic fidelity from the gameplay that was shown here to what they had previously shown was much less. In some pictures that I saw, the comparisons were much worse, in my opinion. But then there was others that were looked kind of way better. So I don't know what's going on with that.
I mean, I think it's just kind of par for the course with any of these types of things. The closer that gets to launch, the more the realism begins to show. It's shady practice for sure, but I'm just kind of used to it.
It's super annoying. But yeah, I'm still gonna obviously 100% buy this. I love these games.
Yeah, I can't wait for this. This looks awesome. It'll be like the first full length one since the PS3 era, so that'll be awesome. But I guess we'll have to just stay tuned for that. Murph is so scared that he has been outed as a Ratchet and Clank poser that he's stopped talking completely. So, Nick, do you have anything else to say about Gamescom as a whole, or anything that's itching at your mind? Regardless,
overall, I thought it was pretty, iffy, okay, average, whatever you want to say. There is obviously a couple highlights in there, but nothing really out of this world.
Yeah, I would agree. Well, do you want to wrap things up here?
Yeah, I think that about does it. You can find us on Twitter at Pseudo Ludo Cast.
Nope, restart. Where can they find us?
You can find us on Twitter at Pseudo Ludo Cast. You can find us on Instagram at Pseudo Ludo Pod, and you can find us on YouTube also. Be sure to give us some follows and some likes. Share us with your friends. Tell the world. That's about it.
Well, that wraps it up. Thank you for joining us, Murph.
You're welcome.
Maybe try speaking up one of these days. All right. All right. Good night. Thank you.
Clown.
Bye.
Bye. I'm deep throating a pizza log right now. I can't talk.